Hi, it's Andy Scott here, dressed like a sexy Captain Birdseye today, just for your viewing pleasure. And I want to talk about something that a lot of salespeople just do not get right, and that is happy tapping, cold calling. And I worked at a company that we weren't allowed to call it cold calling. We had to call it happy tapping, because whether we were tapping the keys on the phone or tapping on somebody's door, we had to do it happily. We had to do it with a smile on our face and good intentions. Cold calling has a lot of negative connotations just in the very name of it. But nevertheless, it's something that good salespeople need to get good at, and most salespeople are not good at. So, happy tapping. How long does it take to do an average happy tap? Do people not do it because it just takes so long? Well, if you are on a telephone, it's probably going to take you about 90 seconds to do an average happy tap, an average cold call, and maybe 2 minutes. Face to face, you're probably looking at 2 to 4 minutes to walk into a business, engage somebody, find out if there's anything that can be done there and then take yourself back out again. So neither of these activities take a lot of time, but they're still out in the field, especially don't get done to a high level. The best salespeople, as I said, that I have ever met were good at getting business for themselves done outside of what was fed to them by the normal business routes. So on the phone, typically you're looking at between 1.5 and 4% conversion. Whereas out in the field, face to face, you're looking at around about a 10 to 15% conversion. So cold calling converts at a far higher level out in the field when you walk through that door with your cheeky boy smile and you look them in the eye and you just engage them at a really, really strong level. But it still doesn't get done enough. The fear of it, the fear of that rejection. Most field sellers that I speak to, when we talk about the call centres that they get fed from, they might not love the leads, but they do admit that they won't want to do that for a living. Nobody wants to really take that level of rejection. The human animal is not designed that way. So yes, 10 to 15% conversion out there, but it is 87.5% cheaper to prospect via the phone, which is probably a big part of the reason that 90% of all prospecting is done over the telephone, not done face to face. So what the face to face guys doing when they're out there in the field and they've only got 2 or 3 appointments in a whole day? Well, that's for you to figure out. But I know what they're asking for. They're asking for, give me inbound leads. So yes, they'll take the things from the call centre, but they'll probably think, oh well, it's probably not a great lead. They probably bullied them into it. There's probably no real interest. But they think if you give me an inbound lead, there's got to be some interest there. Yeah, I can go and do my stuff. The reality is it's a dog with completely different fleas, and a lot of salespeople struggle to get their head around this. So I just want to quickly go through what the buying cycle looks like. So time's passing by in your typical business, and then at some point they start to recognise there is a need for a purchase. There's a problem that's starting to get to the point where they now want to resolve it, or they want to be able to have bigger capacity for something. So they recognise the need, and then they start to evaluate the purchase options. So they start to do some research. They'll start to go online, speak to other people that they know that may have similar things, and they start to formulate a little plan to what that's going to look like. They then start to resolve the concerns about the purchase. So they get all the stakeholders together, they start to talk about it. Is this the right thing? Is what we're thinking about big enough, too big, too small? What do we really want to get out of that? So decisions are all being made. They then get to the stage where they're ready to start making the purchasing decision. And when they get to this stage, they're starting to think about who are we going to use. Once they've figured out how they're going to use, they implement the purchase, and then they evaluate the results of the purchase that they've made. Was it the right decision? Is it going to do what we want it to do? So yes, everybody's going, give me some inbound leads, and lots of businesses generate them. But I want salespeople to figure out why that's not always good. So as it sits right now, when they're just recognising the need for a purchase, there's a bit of a pain that they're now thinking, okay, I could do with solving that. How many salespeople do you think they're speaking to? Probably zero. Yeah? This is just internal right now. They start to evaluate the purchase options. They're going online, they're doing a bit of research, everything like that. How many salespeople do you think they're speaking to right now? Probably zero. Resolving concerns about the purchase, they're getting together in a little group and saying, okay, this is what we're thinking of doing, this is how we think it's going to work, this is what we think the benefits will be. At that point, how many salespeople are they speaking to? Still probably zero, unless they know somebody in the industry who's a close personal friend or something. They then get to the point where they've decided we need this, we're going to make this purchase. At that point, they're probably speaking to 2 to 5 people. A lot of companies, depending on what it is that you're selling, will want 3 quotes before they go anywhere anyway. So 2 to 5 people. They then decide to implement the purchase. They buy the back speaking to only one person because they've limited it from this, and then they evaluate that process. So by the time you come into their world, if you wait for their natural process to take place, nearly 60% of the buying has been considered and done. Now, if you are a smart cookie, yeah, you want to be fishing in your own pond, not trying to muscle in on somebody else's. So if you get them here and get into a business and start to create some, not necessarily problems, but just show them how things could work better, grow some of their niggles into dissatisfactions, then you've got a much better chance of winning that business yourself. Even if you get in here, even if a push you got in here, but if you get to this point, it becomes very difficult. You've probably got a 1 in 5 chance. And then the people that win probably have got the lowest price. Who wants to just go in there and drop the pants all the time? So doing that prospecting, that happy tapping, that cold calling it's so important for a real good salesperson to get out there and make real good revenue. But you don't have to do it the painful way. There is an easier way. And people still don't really do it very well. Referrals are where the smart money is. Now, 90% of businesses say they're happy to give referrals. 11% of salespeople ask for them. And that is when there's a purchase being made. It's absolutely crazy. Now, what I teach salespeople to do in the classes that I have is try and make sure that everyone that you do not sell to, you ask for a referral. Not just the people that you do sell to. Yeah, everyone that you sell to, that should be a no-brainer. But everyone you do not sell to, there's a method, there's a way that you can ask all these people for referrals. You can also ask every non-SIP for referral. Use the guilt element that's involved with this now, and you can get them to send you somewhere. Again, it's very simple to do. Even just asking the people that you've gone to see, yeah, who's next door, Columbo closing, before you move on. These are the techniques that you want to learn. Yes, you need some good questioning and some good objections around the basic stuff you get told walking through a door cold. But if it's any kind of referral, it's a different conversation, it's a different feel, it's a different fit, and you can generate referrals from so many angles. People just don't do it very, very well.